Yeah, that, and check. Yeah, looks like I'm coming through. Okay, hello. Hello, hi. Hello and welcome. You can see the notifications button on blue sky. That's not too bad, right? Jeez. Hello and welcome to Monday. What a Monday so far, right? In my ears, am I like eating nuts? The nut guy has come to you with nuts. Oh, geez, sorry. I haven't redone my hair. I'm not sure, but since I started Ritalin ADHD medication, I've needed more naps in the afternoon, right? The stimulant wears off. It's nap time. Fuck. I don't understand, but apparently that's a standard thing, right? Mostly. Pretty understandable. So, poor Emma Stitches. I thought Emma Stitches had a break and a nap, right? Right? She had some, I'll leave it in a messy bun so you can actually see more of it, huh? It's too hot. When it becomes winter and this room is freezing again, then I leave my hair down more. Also needs a re-dye. You can see it as well. It's really just brown there. I made a drink before we got started. Oh, jeez, that looks so terrible in the camera light. Messy bun is your vote. Is this it? Is that good? Or do you need it higher or something, Violets? You have said previously you're a hair girl, so we're going to listen to you. This is it's a White Russian with a dash of grenadine because I don't have any simple just sitting around. But also, I like grenadine. Just wanted something coffee. And then I made it with Mr. Black instead of, say, Kahlua or Tia Maria. And I was like, whew, fuck, that's dark. Alright, maybe something a little easier. Let's add something to that. That's why I said it for a Black Russian to a White Russian. It didn't have Coke. No, that's not what happened at all. I thought, let's add a little bit of milk. And it's good. Because White Russians are a great drink if you're having one. I agree with Greg from How to Drink Here. If you have more than one, like milk-based drink, you'll throw up, especially if you're going for a dance. And yeah, despite my pretentiousness, I haven't seen the film Cocktail with Tom Cruise. So I obtained it and put it on our place, he says, making it at least slightly subtle. And like, Greg from How to Drink today did a bunch of videos about everything from Cocktail, and so many of them being from the 80s were milk-based drinks, and they were terrible. And many of them also pretty good. And I agree with him. I don't want that much milk in my alcohol. However, of course, Violet did spend a bit of time talking about the caramelized coconut milk. Once I was in a headspace to listen to it, God, it sounded great. So now I gotta go to that cocktail bar. Thanks, Emma Stitches. You know that's about as good as I get. Alright, Cleric, hell yeah. Tell us more. I mean, Hermit is making coffee mead. Thank you. And Cleric Bud is making stronger and less sweet than intended. So it fermented more of the alcohol disappeared. Sorry, more of the sugar disappeared and turned into alcohol. That's exactly why Emma Stitches. Fun. Now, I wanted to point out something cool about our Discord server. I'm going to turn off display capture for a second. Oh shit, that's wrong. Okay, we're on the wrong profile. If I swap over, you'll lose everything, so it's not super important. This is going to confuse the hell out of me. Yeah. So, hi people, move to this channel. Yeah. Not to give up too much away. Yeah, don't think there's any information that needs to be missing. First off, recommend for Goblin with a Fat Ass. But like, the channel section called TTRPG Theory, Stories and Development is something I'm quite proud of. We're still working on it, because we've only got one thread open about how Jimbles is writing role-playing game pitch. But, aha, my friends, Or if you stick around on our Discord server that you can get to by going !class, like that, dropping it in chat, you will get a message from a Twitch bot, if you're allowed to. Some people got it banned, or at least block messages from bots or whatever, which is not a bad idea, except when you're expecting it. And even our friends watching the VOD should be encouraged to go take a look at how Jimbles is building a pitch from nothing for Phenomenon this year. And as we get more and more work on it, and I'm doing a little bits each day, thank you, Lexi, you get little hints about the design process, what makes a good priority, and how I'm working on it. Leona, that's how you get the invite. And you can see, like, how much work I actually spend on it each day, you know, which is not much, but how much each week I do to make sure I can keep the this thread active, because it only lasts a week without an update. And while I may be the only person putting points here, I imagine when more people are building their games and telling stories about their role-playing games, it'll be an excellent place to hang out for you TTRPG nerds, which includes us, because we're playing a vampire game that is built on a tabletop role-playing game system and setting. Right? This is our hangout place for nerds like us. Nerds like me, nerds like us, that sort of thing. And every time I finding something cool, like an interesting little Kickstarter that I believe you all need to see about, I've been linking it. And it's making me seem much more connected and intelligible. But, much more connected and intelligent and knowledgeable about the whole scenario and the whole subculture than I actually am. So you should join in and be at least as smart as the rest of us, huh? Sounds like fun? I think so. Let's play some Vampire, huh? I'm actually hoping, I'm not sure if we will, but I'm hoping we'll finish it tonight. Let's jump into game stream. Oh, yeah, it's going to be looking for the wrong game as well. Sources, game capture, properties, change from Final Fantasy X to Coteries New York because we're on the wrong profile. If we swap profiles, it might disconnect us. Who knows? Time for Eric, time for monologue. Grab your drinks, grab a snack, sit back on the table, and just listen to us chat. Because that's what we're getting up to tonight. Yeah. There we go. Cool. I mean, Coteries is a concept were available in both, but they were pushed more heavily in Requiem because Requiem is a much more personal horror like system. They wanted you to be more focused on the small group of vampires that you're not going to fight to death the first, like, most of the time you see them. There was a mechanical benefit to being in a Coterie in Requiem because of that. Like, first time you see a vampire ever, or first time you see a vampire in a while, your beast flares, they like, you try and fight each other, and except if you're in Elysium, but that doesn't happen with your Coterie. And so they wanted to really reiterate that as an important step. Because Requiem is like an examination of the internal slow death and the changing of yourself is to turn into an undead being that wears the face, body, and memories of what you used to be. And Masquerade, like, not as explicitly, but definitely supposed to be a game about political and deeper politics and, like, historical horror. Like, by God, they've been here forever? Oh, Nosy Reporter Part 2, huh? Now, it's hard to sum up like, old people are. You're brilliant, Willow. Good job. The weather is cold and windy as you walk to Sophie's apartment. As a vampire, that doesn't matter anymore. You may have been saddled with eternal hunger, but at least you can ignore the wind chill. Just as you come to the door of Sophie's building, she storms out, murmuring into her phone. Yes, I know. Don't worry, I trust you to handle it. You've heard Sophie talk to her associates before. It's always the same, generalities and vague suggestions. Makes you think she's involved in mysterious machinations, but it doesn't tell you anything. Sophie's dressed to kill, but there's nothing unusual in that. She likes to make an impression. A black car with tinted windows is waiting for her in front of the door. The chauffeur steps out to open the car door for her. Sophie notices you. I'm glad you're in the neighborhood. If you could look around for me one more time, that would be wonderful. You told me you'd gotten rid of the reporter. Turns out he's still here, snooping around. Sophie's very good at communicating disappointment. She doesn't have to do much to make it clear that she's unhappy to have to return to this issue. I'll take care of it. After tonight, he won't trouble you. After tonight, he won't trouble you anymore. Good. Don't disappoint me. The reporter talked his way into the building during the day. Once the doorman understood what was happening, he threw him out. He showed old pictures of me to my neighbors. It's very awkward, you understand? Sophie disappears into the car and the chauffeur closes the door behind her. He watches the sleek vehicle disappears into Manhattan traffic, just one anonymous car among many. Best sit down somewhere and devise a plan of action. You go to a nearby diner, settle into a booth, and order a coffee from a steely-eyed Latina waitress. She brings you your cup. You describe Frank Doherty to her on the off chance she's seen something. Just as she's about to answer, you happen to look outside. Something catches your eye. The diner is brightly lit, so you lean closer to the window to see the street through it. You got lucky. Frank is standing on the sidewalk, on the other side of the street, looking at something on his phone. You slide out of the booth, throwing a few small bills on the table, mumbling something to the waitress. You step outside. For a reporter, Frank isn't terribly observant. You keep your distance, hiding behind people and cars, but he doesn't look around. It seems like he wants to find a private nook to inspect the photos he took tonight. An alley. He ducks in and you follow. Oh God, it's you again. Please, I'm working on a different store, I swear. Frank retreats deep into the alley. Wait, what was the terribly annoying accent I did for him before? Because I don't remember it. And I feel like waiting here, just having a nice big sip of my, bloody white Russian? Not quite red enough for that. Looks brown to you. The New Yorker! Yeah, thank you. That's the one. Oh, Violet, see, like the faux Boston one, but I remember it exactly. Enjoy. It's fine, Frank. Maybe we got off the wrong foot last time. Yeah. Frank appears relieved and even tries to smile a little. Okay, I'm sorry I tried to bullshit you. Just tell me how I can help you. How come you're here? I thought we agreed there's no story. And usually when someone tells you there's no story, that means there is a story. I couldn't just let it go. Look, I don't want any trouble. I can see that you're serious. There is something to Sophie Langley. I think you know what it is. I'm fucking it up, but I don't care. You take a long, hard look at Frank Doherty. He's a tenacious man, but not brave. After the last time you met, you were sure he had been dealt with. Where did he find the courage to come here again? I like you, Frank. You don't give up. What's your real angle here? Everybody plays an angle. No. Yeah. Everybody plays an angle. That's one of the things you learn in my profession. You're smart. You know that there'll be... You're smart. You know that there'll be others after me. If there's a real story, they'll come here and find it. Your best shot is with a friendly reporter. Someone you can trust. Someone like me. So what do you say? Get ahead of the story. Well, she won on that one. Okay. Get ahead of the story. It'll be good for you and Miss Langley too. You almost believe it, but something about Frank feels off. Presence. Trust in your blood to convince Frank. You don't say anything at first? It's easy to dismiss Frank as a joke, a has-been. Yet there's something beneath his talk, another story. A moment of silence is all you need for your presence to probably register in Frank's mind. He's too weak-willed to resist. Someone's leaning on you, Frank. Come clean. What? No, absolutely not. Frank's voice sounds shrill and annoying. You know you got it right in one guess. Sometimes I just need some extra money, that's all. Now we're finally getting somewhere. There's a guy. He's paying me, that's all. But I can't talk about that. Offer Frank to work for you. Tell you what, Frank, I'll make this easy for you. Work for me and I'll make your life easier. I want to know who's after Sophie Langley, and you can get me that information. Who knows, maybe this will become a lasting and lucrative relationship. Frank is taken aback by a suggestion. Still, he clearly needs a friend. Well, I don't know, kid. I mean, if there are some people eating me, they won't take kindly to it if I help someone else. I know how valuable you are, Frank. Some days I get nothing but disrespect. I wouldn't mind a change to all that. Tell you what, next time someone comes up, I'll give you a call. Maybe I'll have something you can do for me as well. You sound like a pro. You've done this before. I am a pro. Frank hesitates for a second as if he was going to say something more. Takes one last look at you, turns and leaves the alley, disappearing into the crowd. You're left wondering whether that was a good choice. Frank is not reliable, that much is clear, but perhaps you can benefit from him anyway. Isn't that what kindred do? Play people and turn them into puppets? Yeah, I'd say this is Elvis. Alright, done to Faith and Myth, Part 3. Benoit believes the time has come for you to meet Father Anthony. The holy man's presence terrifies you, but... Yeah, it was supposed to be Elvis, right, Willow? I don't know if it's particularly accurate, but it was fun, that's for sure. Herbert seemed to love it. Maybe Luxie didn't explode. Maybe Luxie's already muted me for sins against the voice. It's worse when I'm a GM. Try to have a different accent. It's more tolerable. Hey, we did it! Great success. Have a nut. Approaching the cathedral on the street makes you nervous. You've been here twice, and twice something bad has happened, or almost happened, as in both cases you ran away. Benoit suggested, it's time to stop running and experience faith head on. Perhaps he's right. Maybe it is cowardly to take refuge in rationalizations when you know what you felt, the holiness of the priest, and your own damnation. Walking towards the doors of the cathedral, you glance at the bench where you sat when you first met Benoit. He's waiting for you, sitting and contemplating the cathedral's Gothic architecture. Maybe do, Leona. Clips help me a lot. Even if they're not amazing clips that go viral just by themselves, they raise the profile of the channel, which I certainly do appreciate. Growth for the sake of growth, not super into it. Growth for the sake of having more people to hang out with, absolutely. That's why I'm pushing the Discord, by the way. It's not so I can suddenly get rich, but so we can meet more people. Online communities have the potential to be amazing, and I have complete faith and trust in my mod team and myself to make sure it is a place that's worth being in. I also need to post pictures of the mac and cheese I made last night. A deep, velvety, smoked cheddar alongside a regular tasty. It was a pale cream sauce, but I replaced a bit of the milk with regular cream. Fantastic. Oh yeah, and the breadcrumbs? Shredded cheese biscuits. That was Emma Stitch's idea. They'd gone stale, right? But not moldy, so you turn it to use, right? Leaning on my keyboard. I wasn't certain I even wanted to talk to you after last time. I understand. I'm happy you chose to come. Benoit looks different than before. Intense, certain. You've had some time to think about what we spoke of before. I want to learn more about Kane. About where we all came from. Oh jeez, Hermit. That's so good. The last steak I had? Violet's made. It's fucking incredible. All in good time. I have something different in mind for you tonight, as you surely remember. Let's go see Father Anthony. It's best not to talk in the cathedral, so I arranged for us to see him at his home. I have a car nearby. This better be on the level, Benoit. We're beyond that kind of tough talk, don't you think? You follow Benoit as he walks down the street until you come to his car, the surprisingly pedestrian family sedan. The essence of the Masquerade is inconspicuousness. Nobody expects a vampire to drive a car like this. Benoit drives north towards Queens. During these moments, you feel most anonymous, just another speck of dust in a vast machine where every action influences the whole in tiny ways. The one thing you've learned about the Kindred is that they are not lacking in self-regard. That is one of the most poly things I've ever fucking heard, Violets. That's hilarious. That's up there, way up there, with, like, I got leftovers because my girlfriend was out on a date. But she does like that one. One thing I've learned about the Kindred is they are not lacking in self-regard. The Prince of a Camarilla city is said to rule the domain, yet how much do they really affect mortal affairs? If you ask a vampire, they'll say a lot. Perhaps that's what made Benoit turn inward, the futility of finding meaning in a secret, predatory existence. Oh, thank you, Leona. Benoit stops in front of a red brick row house, a little run down, but probably not cheap. Benoit notes your interest. Father Anthony comes from an old New York family. He inherited the house. When I first met him, I was suspicious, so I checked up on him. Despite the way he keeps putting you in dangerous situations, kindred paranoia seems to come naturally to Benoit. Perhaps there's something you can learn from him. Isn't this a masquerade breach? I suppose, but we make ghouls all the time. We hunt. The masquerade is threatened regularly with much worse than this. Hey, what was that? Masquerade? Ghoul? A minion created by giving a bit of vampiric vitae to a mortal without draining them of blood first, which would create a vampire. You follow Benoit to the stairs, looking around for any signs of an ambush. As you get to the door, the first signs of trepidation hit you. The discomfort, the pain that'll follow once you're inside. It feels like a physical thing, a burning sensation under your skin, in your blood. You look to see how Benoit is taking it. He's smiling, eyes closed for a second before knocking on the door. Almost as if he's enjoying the sensation. The door opens and you see Father Anthony's kindly face. Your body feels as if in a vice. You haven't really been bothered by how hot or cold since you embraced, but now it feels like the surface of your skin is overwhelmed with sensation. The fear and terror are paralyzing. Yes. You barely hear Benoit's whisper. Come in, you two. I might not know much, but I know enough not to do this on the porch. You force yourself to follow Father Anthony into the apartment despite the splitting headache and rising panic. It's hard to take in your surroundings. Everything seems to vibrate, seeking to engulf you. Framed portraits on a mantelpiece, across on a wall, a living room with lots of books, many of them old. I'm not sure I could offer you anything. You don't drink tea, I suppose? No, we don't. If this is holiness, why does it feel like pain? Oh, my child, I understand that. Thanks to your condition, you're under unusual stress. Please, Father, you know how this is difficult for us. You'll forgive me if I don't waste time. Father Anthony looks pained. Whether because of the rudeness or out of sympathy for your condition, you can't tell. He motions for you to sit down, but you and Benoit are both too agitated to do so. You feel trapped, like a moth being smeared against a burning light bulb. It's hard to look at Father Anthony, but you can't look at anything else either. Benoit is starting to look increasingly unhinged. His eyes look as if he's seeing into some divine beyond, just outside the grasp of your senses. Now's the time, my friend. You have to decide if you're ready for salvation. Prove your faith by embracing the Father and let his radiance envelop you. Yes, I'm ready. Benoit smiles cruelly as you fall to your knees in front of Father Anthony. Startled, Father Anthony takes a step back. Benoit, what are you doing? Father, it's time to be redeemed. For both of us. Benoit falls to his knees next to you, lifting his face in full embrace of the holy agony.
This is not right, Benoit. Everyone has a chance of salvation. I understand there's something in God's presence that burns you, but you can work through it. Please, Benoit, there are many paths to salvation, and we'll find yours. I won't hurt you and your friend.
Benoit moans in pain, stricken with grief and disbelief at Father Anthony's refusal.
Please. Father, they don't even believe, not truly.
Father Anthony looks at you and seems to waver. Even his belief in salvation has limits. Where do you get DMT in New York City, huh? I'm sure there are ways, but like, all of the tropical plants he boiled down to make is like, they're not nearby. There's some in far north Queensland.
This stream has been banned by Twitch.
Oh, Luxie and Hermit, there you are. Sitting in opposite directions on the moral cause. We don't have an official polling system, but if you've got a strong opinion, make your case in chat in the next minute or so while I eat a nut. I'm hoping to have it not trigger the noise gate so you don't have to hear me crunch. So if I was doing real ASMR, I'd have two smaller microphones with much lower gain pointed in different directions. You can get left and right. Oh, violets! No way, right? Think Benoit will be pissed if we kill his favorite priest? If you're around for Shadows of New York, Benoit appears there too. It's a different priest, which is pretty funny. I'm curious too, cleric, but I think we're gonna have to go with kill the father. Nothing else is pretty funny. Despite his kind nature, Father Anthony is a grave threat to the Masquerade. You must kill him for the good of all your kind. Oh, such a rationalization, right? Is that going to keep you up right before you fall into torpor? You're going to regret this decision? How it feels like you didn't even make this decision yourself, it just happened to you? What a rationalization. How comfortable is it to say, I'm doing it for the good of all my kind? He makes me hurt and I must stop it at all cost. As Father Anthony hesitates and Benoit grovels on the floor, you take the nearby candlestick. Marshalling all of your willpower, you lunge forward and hit the side of Father Anthony's head. You stagger to the side as your undead body convulses in pain. Father Anthony steadies himself on a bookshelf, blood trickling from a wound in his temple. He's an old man, but not a defenseless one. His convictions of mercy and grace hiding a sharp mind for action. No! You both glance at Benoit, who doesn't seem to comprehend what's happening. Taking advantage of your distraction, Father Anthony takes a crucifix from the wall and pushes it towards your face. He doesn't seem sure whether this works in reality as well as the movies, but you feel the burning caused by his conviction all the same. A cross in the hands of a normal man would do nothing. But with Father Anthony, it's different. In ordinary circumstances, you could kill Father Anthony with little to no effort. No matter how strong his mind, physically he's an old man. Now you can barely look at him. Your head is pounding. It feels as if the skin on your face is burning and you have trouble standing. Me IRL last night, baby.
Actually, most of yesterday.
Your cheeks are wet from crying. Me IRL most of yesterday, baby. Your face stained with the blood that has come to replace tears. Now that wasn't me, thankfully. I'd tell you if I was a vampire. Or would I? You haven't seen me stream during the day. There is no victory for you here. You give in to the panic inside you. Self self-preservation winning over any conception of victory through violence. Benoit tries to grab your ankle as you run to the door, swing it open and rush into the cool night. You're safe, but the implications of your experience are troubling. What does that mean? Whether practical or spiritual, it feels like you have to think about this for a long time. Yeah, that's daylight out there, baby. Ignore the beefy arm. This room does have windows, I just keep it shut. I sit next to the window because, in winter it's colder, and that means I can sit here and be cooler, and Amber Stitches get to sit over there, where it's warmer. Not that we're spending a lot of time sitting next to each other in a study with the tiny baby K. You're so kind, Leona. You're free to return to your haven. There is a distinct temptation to keep the events of the night to yourself. Yet these events cannot be good for the Masquerade. Go talk to Sophie. Sophie, help! You make your way to Sophie's apartment, seeking comfort in the anonymity of the crowds on New York sidewalks. Some are coming from a late shift at work, others are going out. You nod to the doorman and slip into Sophie's building, go up and knock on her door. Sure, alright, yeah, absolutely. Since I haven't done like a chest workout in a little while, I can't actually make it bounce that strongly, but I assure you they are doing something. If I was being, like, groomed to be a vampire, so kind likes it, I would say, could you give me, like, 4 months or so to go nuts on exercise? Seriously. Hell yeah, Violet. Sophie opens the door in the middle of a phone call. She motions you to come in as she mumbles assent to the phone. She could be talking about earth-shattering secrets or an acquisition from an art gallery. Following Sophie's cue, you sit down in the living room. A few moments later, Sophie ends her call and sits down opposite you, regarding you with her usual mix of paternalism and disdain. You appear shaken up. That's not a good look to cultivate in the world of the kindred. Your child Benoit has been meeting a priest, Father Anthony. It's a masquerade breach. They must be punished. Benoit. He was amusing for a while. Sounds like I should have kept tabs on him. This is sad, of course. My child and a man of faith. I'll talk with Kadir and make sure that neither of these unfortunates endanger us. Now you should leave. Sensing that Sophie is in a strange mood, you discreetly leave the apartment. As a vampire, you're supposed to protect the Masquerade, and that's what you did. You did the right thing. Yet still, it doesn't feel like you did. Ooh. You like that? You come back to your haven after a long night out. Right before you open the door, you notice something strange. Sounds of television are coming from your apartment. Mad Men, if you're not mistaken. You open the door and carefully peek in. A young, disheveled woman is curled up on your sofa. She has a blanket pulled up on top of her and seems very comfortable. Next to her lies an obviously unconscious, preppy woman. Oh, you're home. The woman reaches the remote and puts Mad Men on pause. You weren't home, so I started without you. You know, Netflix and chill. Join me, there's space on the sofa. I brought us a snack. You enjoyed it the last time. The woman points lazily to the unconscious girl. Oh, I forgot. My name is Adelaide. Adelaide Davis. I like you a lot. Help yourself and settle in. Netflix and chill. Adelaide makes space on the sofa as you sit down between her and the unconscious mortal. You lean to drink from the girl as Adelaide uses the remote to turn Mad Men back on. The girl moans sleepily as you drink from her, but doesn't wake. Her blood tastes pleasant and unhurried, a far cry from the adrenaline of blood you get by hunting a victim who knows you're coming. Without this soft, gentle tinge of fear, it feels relaxing. As you lick the girl's wound closed and sit back on the sofa, Adelaide lies down and rests her head in your lap. Isn't this nice? Can I kiss you? Adelaide turns to look up at you and smiles. She climbs on top of you, straddling you. She kisses your face, your nose, and finally on the mouth. There's an intensity to Adelaide, a hunger that makes you forget yourself. You may be dead, but as she holds your face in her hands, you remember what it was to live, if only for a second. The door to your apartment opens. Your mind is elsewhere, and you react slowly. Sophie strides into your living room. She has a key to your haven and never bothers to knock, of course. You're shacking up with Adelaide Davis, the scourge of Snug Harbor in the flesh. This is a new low for you, fledgling. I'm embarrassed for you, really. Perhaps I should not be surprised. Come on, Sophie, let me have this. Please, don't degrade yourself further. Adelaide leaves the room, making sure to give as wide a berth to Sophie as possible. Sophie waits for the door of the apartment to close before she speaks. Chat, one, meme quote, hey, chat, is this real? But, two, does anyone else not know who the fuck Adelaide is? Because I got nothing. The clan of the moon. Did I not advise caution when dealing with him? As you watch, Sophie makes a phone call. 10 minutes later, two of her servants arrive to remove the unconscious girl sprawled on your sofa. You clearly need my help. It won't happen tonight, but let me see if I can resolve your stalker problem for real. You'll have to wonder what Sophie meant by that. She leaves the haven. Oh yeah, there was a thing about us having a stalker, and now we know who they are, I guess. Clan of the Moon. Now, I don't know that. Oh, okay. I was going to, Google it, but she's right here. Somebody's watching me. You've had enough of Adelaide Davis. It's time to head for Elysium and confront her with Sophie by your side. Yeah, there we go. Thanks, Loxy. I think it's funny to immediately whore ourselves out. Not for money, but slut. I think it's funny to immediately slut ourselves out. A hot, unhinged girly on my couch with food, and then I get to just watch a TV show while we eat together. Amazing. Love it. And then we start to fuck. Perfect date. I'm literally just, yeah. Visiting Elysium with Sophie is always a humbling experience. She's connected, well-known, important. You're a nobody. You've always known this, of course, but it's especially apparent when you arrive with her. Everyone notices her and she drinks it in like it's her birthright. That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go say hello. Fuck that, buddy. That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go and say hello. You spot the woman Sophie is referring to, and Adelaide, your stalker, intense, disheveled, young-looking. A Malkavian, if you've understood correctly. Clan of the Moon! Malkavian. You know what's not cool? Having a whole clan whose hat or generic trope is, we're crazy! I know they are some people's favorite parts of the Masquerade experience, but I do not regret not having them in Requiem. Not having them in Requiem. They are a bloodline for Ventru, that's true. However, as you approach, Adelaide smiles at you with a darting look of distaste towards Sophie. Don't worry, I don't judge people by the company they keep. That's sweet of you, darling. Let me say this straight. You can't keep doing what you've been doing. You have to leave my poor ward alone. Adelaide looks from Sophie to you and giggles. The sound must be rare in Elysium because it makes people glance towards you. I know she's making you do this. Don't worry. We'll be together again later. The game you play is too much for me. Let's go on a normal date next time. Sophie turns slowly to look at you, not as disapprovingly as you expected. Perhaps she thinks you're playing a social game like kindred often do. Oh, I'm sorry. Adelaide looks serious, as if you forced her out of her comfort zone. I admit playing games is easier for me. Red flag. But I appreciate it. Let's go on a date some night. Adelaide smiles at you shyly and walks away. Sophie waits a moment before speaking. I hope you know what you're doing. Let me know how it goes. Suppose this will be good for a laugh in these tedious times. You're fairly certain that you accomplish your goal of getting Adelaide to stop harassing you with strange surprises. Whether she will hold you to the date, only time will tell. Every breath you take, complete Adelaide Davis' quest line. All right. Look at that, baby! Wounded War Song. It's been some time since what kindred historians will no doubt refer to as the Battle of Cloisters. Still no word from Tamika. Maybe it's time you dropped by and see how she's doing. Immediately after you enter the park, you can tell that something is wrong. An odd silence hangs in the air, like the silence from a choking victim after the fight leaves them. It doesn't take you long to find Tamika. You see her in the distance, leaning against the tree. As you make your way towards her, she puts a finger to her lips. Only then do you notice the blood dripping from her side. You pick her up, letting her lean on you. She looks at you, her eyes wild with fear and rage. They're here. The Inquisition, they found us. Raoul, he drew them away. Saved my ass. He's still out there. We need to go. We need to help him. You sure you're up to it? Looks like they banged you up pretty bad. I'm fine. Twang of pain takes her breath away. Fine. Alright, but stay behind me. Don't take any chances. She looks up at you, gnashing her teeth in pain. Yeah. Through sheer force of will, she manages to straighten herself up. Let's fucking do this. You head deeper into the park. Soon you stumble upon a set of innocuous barriers. Service vehicles, black and yellow caution tape, men in work suits that keep the civilians out of a certain area. It's not at all difficult for a creature of the night to avoid these. You'd almost think that their presence here is accidental, but once you spot black vans deeper in, you get a foreboding feeling. Tamika grabs your shoulder and squeezes hard. Hold up. There. You have to squint to see it. 2 SI scouts have taken tactical positions between the trees. There's no way in hell you'd have noticed them or hidden time if Tamika hadn't alerted you. Body armor, camo, night vision goggles, rifles, semi-auto shotguns. Some equipment you can't even name. These guys mean business. There's no time. She's getting ready to just pounce on them. Consequences be damned. You need to think and fast. You got it, Emma Stitches. Take one out. Focusing your efforts, you head for the nearest opponent, letting Tamika take care of the other one. The target falls before he's able to pull the trigger. A faint gurgle lets you know that Tamika has done her part as well. You look over and see her standing over the rapidly cooling corpse of the soldier. She flicks her wrist, sprinkling the grass under her feet with the man's blood. It's a tie. All things considered, she seems to be doing all right. You keep on moving. Tamika gestures at the nearest patch of trees. Stick to the shadows. Take them one at a time. Sound advice. You take it to heart as you move on towards Tamika's haven. Doesn't take long for you to run across more of them. 3 operatives in full riot gear are running down a park alley, sweeping the area with barrel-mounted flashlights. Keeping very still and very quiet, you wait for them to approach. Tamika watches you from the bushes nearby, clearly waiting to follow your lead. Well, I'm not going to lead 2 of them to Tamika. As the first victim marches past, you lunge at him, sinking your teeth into his neck. One sudden motion, you rip out a chunk of flesh from his throat. Quickly, before the other 2 can react, you run at them full speed. Just as you're about to take the first one out, Tamika pounces from the side, taking him out in an instant. As soon as she lands, she springs back toward the other one. A single slash of her claws is all it takes. The man's body falls to the ground. After a second or 2, his head follows. You raise an eyebrow at Tamika. She hits back with a roguish grin. 2 to 1. No time to savor your victory. A savage yell rings out from the tree line. You know that voice. It's Raoul. Tamika throws herself towards where it came from. It's almost unbelievable how fast she moves, considering the state she's in. You're barely able to keep up. Mere seconds later, you find yourself under the cover of a rose bush, giving a clear view of a nearby clearing. Off in the distance, you spot a group of gunmen converging. Slowly but surely, the circle of hunters close in on a lone figure struggling on the ground. The figure lets out a pained roar. Looking closely, you realize it's Raoul, caught in the same steel net you saw used against the scarred one, as he struggles frantically, trying to break free. With each passing second, step by step, the operatives close in around him, Driven by instinct, Tamika jerks forward to save her brother. She stops herself at the last moment as if reminded of your presence. Okay, how do we do this? Fast and fierce. We're going fast and fierce, no messing around. Take him out as quickly as we can. She nods in approval. Sounds good. You move in like a two-person SWAT team, staying low to the ground before you finally make your first move. The first two hunters meet their death. Unfortunately, it's enough for the others to notice your presence. So much for the element of surprise. As the two men turn towards you with their fingers already on the trigger, another two approach you, stabbing at the air with their cattle prods. Prioritizing long-range attackers to make quick work of them, slashing both of their throats before they can fire. Meanwhile, Tamika does her share as she swiftly avoids the cattle prods and moves in for the kill. 4 bodies hit the ground. 2 vampires are still standing. You both turn towards the last remaining foe, driven by sheer desperation. The sole surviving soldier stands over Raoul and aims his semi-automatic shotgun at his head. Tamika growls. You gesture at her to stand down. There's no room for mistakes here. Looks like your number's up. Might as well give up. To make it worse for yourself. With shaking hands, the gunman looks to you, then Tamika, as if warning you not to come any closer. It's mostly for show. He's fucked and he knows it. Suddenly you notice his muscles relax, as if he's made peace with the inevitable. You hear Tamika scream. She notices it as well. Struggling to lift his head, Raoul looks into Tamika's eye. Take care, sis. A shot rings out. Raoul's body collapses under the weight of the steel net. His head, a gaping hole. Before either of you can react, the operative puts the barrel under his chin and pulls the trigger. Another shot. Another body hits the ground. Turn to your companion. She seems utterly lost, like a child, failing to comprehend what has just happened. Falling to her knees, Tamika lets out a yell unlike any you've ever heard. It's as if she has been possessed by some wailing spirit, a banshee screaming out into the sky. Her scream echoes across the clearing until finally it all goes quiet. With tears streaming down her face, she looks up at you. It's my fault. I put us in their sights. If it wasn't for me, he'd still... Clenching her fists, she pounds the ground in frustration. Fuck! It was his choice as well. He wasn't a child. He knew what could happen. She bows her head, pressing her chin into her chest. It's like she's processing what you just said, coming to terms with it. Finally, she looks up and gets back on her feet. She seems to have shed her despair, at least for the time being. Let's get out of here. Hastily, yet carefully, you make your way out of the park. You don't stop until you reach a nearby alleyway. There, in the relative safety of the surrounding darkness, you take a moment to rest. Leaning against the wall, Tamika presses her hand onto her wound. Fighting off the pain, she looks up at you. Let's split up. Less attention. Hunters, spotters on the rooftops. Just found an old noodle bowl underneath the desk. Oops. I'm not going anywhere. We need to get you patched up. No, guy. We'll be fine. Knowing when it's time to fold, you nod and head towards the far end of the city alley. After several steps, you look back to see how Tamika's doing. You smile, noting her absence. Having managed to pass a couple blocks without incident, you thank your lucky stars and blend into the nightly New York City crowd. Hopefully, Tamika's made it as well. Oh, we love Reckless. We do that all over. Now we gotta rest. Yeah, I've got one headphone off in case Emma Stitches needs to call out that Baby K needs something. Sophie requests your presence tonight, and it seems urgent. You find her already waiting for you and clearly pondering something. It takes a few seconds of awkward silence before she speaks. I require your assistance, Eric. There is a matter of great importance that I need to ask you to resolve for me. You'll find what I'm about to say surprising, I'm sure, but I need you to hear me out. I need you to contact an important Anarch figure in NYC and arrange a meeting for us. The meeting. It's a trap, right? You need me to set it up so you can deal a blow to them? No, not immediately. Anyway, I intend to meet them in good faith. I realize how ridiculous that may sound to you. You'll find that with this, as with many other things, the Camarille's policies have more than their share of hypocrisy inherent in them. Comes hand in hand with using medieval power structures. What we are forbidden to do, the prince may do willingly. Some of these things can be done in the open, while others are kept secret as not to invite discord and discontent. I need to contact a man named Torque. He's an influential member of the movement, and like most of them, very suspicious of the Camarilla. That's why I'm sending you to extend my invitation. How do I know he'll even talk to me? He won't. Not yet, anyway. You need to start farther down the chain with the right story to spin. With my limited sources adjacent to the movement, I've gathered that your best chance to speak to Torque is to first meet with his right-hand woman, Mia. She's a regular at the club called the Leech Pit. I think it would be best if you presented yourself as an anarch hopeful, a fledgling looking for a place of belonging. Only after you talk to Torque directly should you mention my name in the meeting. Yeah, that makes sense. If I'm open with I'm the Camarilla, that might cut me off. We can reveal our cards once I have his attention. My thoughts exactly. After tonight, I suggest that we do not speak of this again until you arrange a meeting. Many would jump at the chance to use this against us. With Kaiser, you've proven you can get the job done, even if it requires additional legwork. I trust you to deal with this task as quickly and covertly as possible. Forgive me, but that's all the time I can spare tonight. What I'm asking of you is just part of a bigger whole. Trust me, it'll all be worth it. Okay, I'll do my best. I know you will. Check with Gregory for the address of the Leech Pit. Have Mia introduce you to Torque. When she does, tell him I wish to meet. Let him pick the time and place, but let it be soon. Let it be soon. If he proves too guarded, tell him I have something that will help him gather allies against Boss Callahan. That should pique his interest. Good luck, and obviously not a word about this to anyone else. Not even any new friends you might have made in recent nights. It stays between us. The way she says that final sentence suggests a not-so-veiled threat, but her warm smile belies that impression. You want her to keep trusting you. You wouldn't want to disappoint her. Gregory gives you the address. The club is in Brooklyn. Apparently it's some kind of heavy metal bar with dedicated concert space. Time to pay this Mia a visit. The place is teeming with people tonight. You arrive in the middle of a concert. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to it. You recognize a phrase or two of lyrics and realize that you know the song they're playing. The poster confirms your suspicion. It's a Life of Agony tribute band, and they're not half bad. A group of a few dozen patrons are tightly packed together, and the smell of their sweat and youthful, excited blood overwhelms you momentarily. It's with some difficulty that you turn to the task at hand. You heard your share about the anarchs and how they fit into kindred politics, but you only have your short encounter in Corona Park on which to base your actual opinion of the faction. It might have just been a horrible first impression. You're keeping your guard up just in case. You take a walk around the club. Yeah, it is loud, isn't it? I'll try and speak up a bit. I'm afraid my microphone isn't max volume. I'm not intentionally extra quiet. Let's see what I can do, okay? One sec. Maybe it is game settings might work. There, that'll do. Hey, Corey. I know you're not a huge fan of vampires, my friend, but we see you on Final Fantasy nights. Yeah, that should do, right? I'm waiting till someone says, yeah, that's better. But I also know you need me to talk. Otherwise, you can't get a good read on how much louder it is. Yeah, it is? Thanks, that's the spirit. You take a walk around the club. There are a few side rooms and a spacious bar area. You're listening in on conversations taking place with voices hoarse from shouting. Walk in on a particularly sloppy threesome in the bathroom. Hell yeah, baby! And eventually hit the dance floor for a better feel of the place. As the concert comes to an end, you witness one of the guests, a feisty-looking girl, get into a scuffle with a much larger drunk guy. She doesn't seem to appreciate him reaching around her waist, slapping with an audible crack that sends him to the ground, unconscious. Two bouncers break up the crowd and pick up the drunk to carry him outside without so much as questioning the woman. You get an inkling that she might be who you were hoping to find. You approach her as she's about to leave. Yeah? The fuck do you want? She's still seething and bares her teeth for just a moment, but you've learned what to look for in kindred. You're pretty sure she's one of you. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm kind of new to this whole being dead thing. Care introducing me to the way you Anarch handle it? Seriously? That's the best line you came up with? She doesn't smile, but she doesn't hit you either. Follow me behind the bar. She leads you through the bar to a back door that leads into a side room. Indie metal band posters are plastered on every wall, some of them more than 20 years old, judging from the tour dates. An old sticky table and some rickety chairs are the only pieces of furniture here. Sit down. Sure. You take a seat as a woman leans against one of the walls. Name's Mia. I guess your visit here isn't a happy coincidence. I don't know you, so either you're new in New York or kept an outstandingly low profile. Both sound suspect. So before we take these pleasantries further, answer me this. Who do you run with? I'm independent. I don't bow to anyone. Isn't that adorable? Listen, fledgling, you don't get to be in this fresh in the game and not pick a side. Your second Inquisition fucks are all too happy to pick on delusional kids like you. So are the cams. Offer you rewards aplenty for your servitude, but never actually deliver. Fortunately for you, there's another option. But before I get to that, let's get one thing out of the way. She leans in. If this is some clever ploy to oust me from my domain, or if you're here just to spy on me in the movement, I'll make sure that you don't enjoy undeath much longer. Got it? You can tell it's a purely rhetorical question. Right. Here's the pitch. The Camarilla likes to think they're the vanilla option, what with Prince Bitch Panhard pretending they were always in charge, but New York has never been a fully cammy city. Might have won the city in 99, but cams have had their asses handed to them many times over the years, and the movement has been here at least as long as they have. Hell, I moved to NYC before World War II, and that was a good while after I saw the Camarilla for what they are, a way to keep us all subservient and in line. The Ivory Tower will tell you they're the only safeguard for the traditions, and that's kind of the problem. There's only one tradition we in the movement feel should be respected. The Masquerade. Obviously. Everything else? Ask the prince, and she'll tell you it's a logical continuation of the Masquerade. But really? It's just a way to keep the elders powerful and in control. She grimaces. But here's the thing. For all the talk of us bloodsuckers being solitary creatures, we need a community to keep up the Masquerade. Community? Yes. But authorities? Not so much. We need a council of peers to keep the assholes and power-drunk fledglings in check, but not a feudal prince to tell you where to feed or who to hunt down when they step on her toes. She takes a brief break from her indignant rant. So you anarchs don't have a ruler? A ruler? No. But leaders? Sure. Most follow old Boss Callahan's lead. You make it sound like it's most but not you? Yeah, not me. If you're concerned about being well received in the city, you might need to go through Callahan. But if you're serious about the anarch cause itself, he's not your guy. Callahan eats up fledglings like you and shits out self-preservation. His position as Baron is mighty shaky now, not least due to the fact he's backstabbed more than his share of allies. So he's doing what any other old fart in a position of power would do. He's doubling down. Negotiations are out. Intimidation is in. Tightening ranks as a precaution against the Second Inquisition. I gotta admit, that's a fucking great line. He's doing what any other old fart in a position of power would do. He's doubling down. Have we not seen this a billion times before? What, you need an example? Off the cuff? How about fucking Musk, baby? There's one for you. I got a billion more. She surprises you by hacking and spitting on the ground in disgust. If you've spent some time with the cams, that should sound very familiar to you. He's no better than Panhard. Her cronies are at this point. No, you need to contact Talk. Wouldn't you know it? It's your lucky night. Because I'm the lick to do it through. Specifically your bloody profession, Cleric Bard? And tell me more. Doubling down? Hydrating for Corey, who's redeeming that one real fast. How is he different from Callahan? Motherfucker, you're really asking for it. Her anger flares up again. I'll pretend that was just a naive question and not a half-assed jab. Torque is a leader, a local baron who's overseeing a small domain but doing a very good job. Callahan knows this, so he's giving him shit. Torque is taking it like a champ. He's smart like that. One of us rebels, he's got the patience of a saint. Makes you think about how things used to be way back when the stories are to be believed. Anyway, you want to meet him? I'm going to require a show of goodwill first. That's fair. What do you have in mind? She flashes you a mischievous half smile. I appreciate your readiness, but I don't have details just now. Ask me at the bar when you're able. I'll leave something for you. We'll take it from there. Now, come on, I gotta go. She walks out of the bar and you go your separate ways. Seems like there's nothing more to do than return here later and see if Mia can help you contact Talk. Sweet! Where's your reporter part 3? Come on, Frank. Yeah, that's fair, Cleric. That happens, right? I think it would be less of a thing, though, still definitely a thing if they wouldn't have to continue doing it for their, like, continued existence under capitalism. Can barely hear this now. Seems like the club music was ambient, so I'll turn that down and leave this music up, huh? Cool. There we go. Visiting Sophie's Haven, the doorman stops you. You've been here enough times that he recognizes you and says there's been a note left for you. You ask about the person who left the note, and the doorman gives a description that can only be Frank Doherty, the reporter. Once you get the note, you step outside to read it. I have what you asked. Everything, all the details. It's crazy that you can imagine. Come to meet me in the beautiful View Motel in Queens. I'm waiting for you. Note is unsigned. On impulse, you return to the street. You didn't have anything important to do with Sophie anyway. It would be much better to come back with real information. Stepping into the beautiful View Motel, you can't help but think that the name makes promises that the building fails to deliver. Outside, there's nothing but an ugly parking lot, empty, the paint marking the parking spaces almost completely worn away. Standing in the lobby, it feels like there's decades worth of stale cigarette smoke. You're not happy not being able to breathe anymore. The furniture looks like it was picked up from a yard sale in the 60s. There's something appropriate in the grubbiness of the surroundings. They fit the image you have of Frank perfectly. It's appropriate to find him in a place like this. You nod to the old woman manning the reception desk. She seems totally uninterested in what you're doing, her eyes glued to the small TV perched on the desk. Cop show. Walking deeper into the motel, you find a lounge that might have aspired to a kind of lavish comfort in its glory days. Now it just feels sticky, like you need to wash your clothes afterwards. Frank sits on a bar stool. There's no bartender, but Frank has a shot glass in hand. He looks even sweatier than usual. Frank fidgets with the glass in hand as if he wanted to give a good impression, but couldn't suppress a nervous tick. I hope you're ready, because I have everything you asked for. Frank Doherty is a professional after all. Yes, indeed, they try to smear my name, but I get the story. Can I have a drink? Sure. Frank reaches for another glass and pours you a shot. You take it, pretending you can still drink. Those fuckers thinking they can just make up lies about me. Frank seems to be in a strange mood. Hard to read. Maybe it's just the alcohol speaking, but something is off about him. Who's they, Frank? Everyone. All these assholes thought they were smarter than me. If you're a reporter, you make mistakes. Everyone does. You make enemies, you get facts wrong. So why was I singled out? I'm not sure you can get anything out of Frank. He's throwing himself a pity party and decided to invite you. You decide to try one more time. We made a deal, Frank. Frank sounds like he has plenty more bitterness inside him, waiting to come out. Let me tell you something else. An ear-splitting sound fills the lounge and a bright flash blinds you. For a second, an irrational panic grips your dead heart. Is this sunshine? Are you going to burn to death in a cheap motel in Queens? As your vision adjusts, something whizzes past you. There's a series of thunking sounds, something impacting the bar. Frank is lifting the shot glass, miraculously still in his hand. A massive blood stain spreads across his shirt. For a bizarre, incongruous moment, you stare at the thing sticking out of Frank's chest. It's a crossbow bolt. Another two lie shattered next to the bar, having missed their targets. One missed you by a hair's breadth. Turning around, you see figures dressed in black tactical gear storming into the room in eerie silence. Perhaps a flashbang damaged your ears. They drop the tactical crossbows and lift up rifles. Who comes prepared with a crossbow? Frank slumps to the floor. A wooden crossbow bolt will paralyze a vampire, but struck through a human heart, it kills. The scent of blood fills the air. Get him! You are a creature of the night. These attackers can't do anything to hurt you. You will rip them apart. Fuck you. The attackers shoot at you even as you shout. Bullets rip into your body, tearing your internal organs apart. You stagger for a second before launching yourself at the man in front. You grapple him, trying to bite at his neck. To your surprise, your teeth clink into metal. He appears to be wearing some kind of a special protective device on his neck. Another attacker hits you in the back with the butt of her rifle. It hurts, and something breaks. You hope it wasn't important as you stagger back, feeling your incisors with your tongues. One is broken from the force of your mangled bite. This was a very bad idea. The attackers all have identical tactical helmets. Their expressions remain invisible under the hard plastic, but you know what they'll do. Shoot you until you die, vampire or no vampire. That's not going to work. Feigning an attack, you lunge at an attacker and yank a pistol from her belt. You don't even have time to get your finger on the trigger before she hits you in the face with her rifle butt. The pistol you stole falls from your hand as you feel your nose being destroyed, painful shards diving deeper into your face. It's hard to see. Your eye might be damaged, but you can't stop the check. One of the attackers has a tactical knife out. Close quarters of the lounge are your only advantage. Attackers don't shoot because they're afraid of hitting one another. Delirious from the pain, you stumble to the lobby as a knife plunges into your shoulder in a quick jab, out and ready to hurt you again. You dash to the front door and force your failing corpse outside. There are 4 SUVs parked by the motel's front door, all black with tinted windows. A man and a woman, middle-aged, dressed like detectives, look at you in surprise as you run past them, bloodied and broken. It's exactly the same time lapse, exactly the same background image. One tries to yell something as you stumble to your car, painfully wrench the door open and turn the ignition. For a terrifying moment, you fumble with the keys, and then the car starts, and you floor it, careening onto the highway. You only really feel safe once you reach your haven. You take off your clothes, watching in the mirror as your undead blood starts to heal your wounds. It's an amazing sight. One thing is clear. You almost died. Any human would have been killed from the wounds you sustained. You're still here, wondering what to wear before you head out to meet Sophie. You run into Sophie's building, tired and hungry from mending your body. The doorman looks at you anxiously as you dash past, unconsciously sensing your bestial nature. You pound on the door of Sophie's apartment, more for the sake of your own nerves than because you think it's any help. After a few moments, Sophie herself opens the door and looks at you in surprise. She doesn't have her makeup on, and her hair is disheveled. You've caught her on a night off. What happened to you? You step into the apartment and follow Sophie to her living room. You see the remains of a party. Empty glasses, a faint smell of blood in the air. You have no time to contemplate Sophie's social life, however. We're being hunted. We're all going to die. Sometimes I regret taking you under my wing. If you don't calm down, I'll feed you to whoever is after me. Sit down and stay calm. I'll check whether this apartment is still secure. Sit down. Suddenly conscious of the vast golfing experience between you and Sophie, she's managed to stay alive for a very long time and knows how to survive. You only hope that you'll survive along with her. The next hour or so you sit on Sophie's sofa, answering minute questions about Frank and the commandos who assaulted you. At intervals, she makes murmuring phone calls to mysterious contacts. After a longer while, Sophie lets you go. You should be safe.
More importantly, I should be safe too. I've taken measures to secure both our havens, but keep your eyes open nonetheless. You leave Sophie's apartment, wondering whether you'll survive another ambush like this. Whoopsie. Could that have gone another way? I have no idea. I think it's funny. I think playing Eric as someone who just like dives forward and attacks people all the time is funny, right? Bruja, right? Bruja? Whatever. Comrade knows. It's funnier to just be like, oh, we're gonna fucking kill him. Let's fucking kill him and see how it goes, baby. Even if it's mostly inappropriate, let's do it. You arrive at the leech pit, finding it less rowdy than the last time. Like, it doesn't matter, does it? The same way we finished Night Road by the Second Inquisition blowing open our haven, which was an old mission in Tucson. Pixels on a screen, baby. You arrive at the leech pit, finding it less rowdy than last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Oh, there, press the wrong button. What can I get you? I was told someone might leave a message for me at the bar. Ring a bell? Maybe. She looks her up and down, and a spark of recollection shines in her eye. Oh yeah, that's right. She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of young adult vampire novel, and flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and presses it to you. She told me that you'd be interested in reading this. Find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it. You need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the leech pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, tattoo sleeve on his right arm. 90% sure he's somebody's retainer sent here to spy on us by the cam. Give it the name of his master and write it on this card, then return to the bar. Doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce guy. It sits alone in a corner, 2 beer glasses already empty on his table. You take a moment to consider your approach. No. Presents. The man immediately notices you but doesn't move away from the spot. The other seats are empty. When you focus the blood to boost your attractiveness, it's not just Bruce who notices. He's into you. So are other people, doing double takes as they pass your table. Oh shit, I like Bruce. Hey buddy. Fuck. It's Nathan Explosion. Well, what's his face from Typo Negative? Artsy. Is he sad? Peter Steele. Thanks, Hermit. Hey. No. Hey, you? Have I seen you here before? It's possible. I'm a regular at this joint. Oh, are you? That's weird. This place is kind of a dump. Is it the dog tags? Quick, Cleric Bard, tell us all more about your type. Ask me about the name nicely. I know you're here because somebody else here to spy on me. I said subtly. No, I said nicely. I know you're here because somebody else here to spy on this place. It'd make me really happy if you gave me their name. What? Do you mean Sam? Catches himself. Realizes what you're doing. His eyes dart over your shoulder. You thought you had him cornered, but he suddenly leaps over the table in one smooth move, and dashes through the sparse crowd, and catch up to him outside. He's bolting all right. Throwing caution to the wind, you focus your blood and give chase after Bruce. He might be faster than a human, but his abilities are a fraction of yours. He dashes into a nearby alley and you follow suit. Before he can jump the fence, you tackle him to the ground. Short brawl later, you're standing a few meters apart, Bruce eyeing you with hatred. You clash again, but this time you're not pulling any punches. Bruce's ribs crack. You dislocate his shoulder, break a few of his teeth. When you're done with him, he's a mess. Oh, please. Oh, fuck. No more, man. Please.
Ready to talk?
Samira. Her name is Samira, okay? Just no more, please.
You leave him there, battered and alone. You should have talked when he had the chance. At least that's what you're telling yourself, is make your way back to the leech pit. Yeah, Peter himself is like, Peter Steele himself absolutely has some shitty segments of interviews that I've seen. I don't know why. It's just like every now and then, like every 6 months or so, my brain will say, who's Nathan Explosion modeled after? And then I Google Peter Steele, and then like there it is, and I read his wiki page or something, and I'm like, oh god, there he is. I mean, it sucks he died of diverticulitis. That's awful. But he was kind of mean to groupies. I know, he didn't even ask. Sad art boy. Such a shame. Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and flip Mia's note to the other side. Samira, put the name down on the piece of paper, hoping you got it right. You pass the piece of paper to the bartender. She sticks it back in the same book. Hold on 1 second. She wanted me to pass something on to you? She produces a cell phone from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date. Oh, right, Nez? An old charger with a piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything. She said she'll be in touch. Takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing. You find out its phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity, no saved messages. It's got a version of Snake, though. The bartender is already over at the other end of her domain, taking orders and papers. With your out contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on with the night. Hopefully your educated guesses based on the scraps of info you collected will be enough for me to call you. The hunger calls to you. You find yourself among the tall buildings and sprawling streets of New York City and can't help but think of how rotten it all is. And the worst thing, you're part of the system. Suddenly, Sophie's patronage is revealed and you see it for what it is. Indentured servitude. She has control over your life now and there's no good reason for it. The people you pass on the street look so smug. They think that they're better than you. They are out to use you, exploit you, hurt you. You feel the need to assault anything with a pulse and drink deep from their lifeblood. You compose yourself. The irrational mind, fearing a blatant breach of the Masquerade's temporary hold over the beast and its compulsions. It won't last unless you feed. You need to quench this hunger before it overtakes you and makes you lose control. There's no let's just go hunt. Okay, I want to talk to Hope. She was a cool Malkavian. Sophie suggests you meet Hope, a reclusive member of the Malkavian clan. She's supposedly holed up in an internet cafe in Lower Manhattan. It's a quiet, moody internet cafe. Half its space serves as a comfy coffee bar these days, but behind a glass wall it still has a space dedicated to rows of PC. From the street you can notice tired adults in casual clothes typing away absentmindedly and some bored kids wasting late evening hours on colourful online games. If Sophie's intel is to be believed, this is where Hope has set up her haven. One of the waiters is standing outside the building, gazing at the sky with a smartphone in one hand and a vape pen in the other. You approach the man and tell him, if I told you I was supposed to meet Hope here, what would you say to me? I'd probably tell you I'm surprised. People are usually far more discreet about seeing her. The man slowly takes a drag from his e-cig, sizing you up and down in silence. After a long, awkward moment, he raises his voice again. Come, right this way. He heads back back into the cafe, and you follow his lead. When you make your way through the space with computers, no one averts their gaze from spreadsheets, emails, Facebook profiles, or games of Fortnite. It's a common sight, one you wouldn't have paid much attention to a few weeks ago, but now it seems so unnervingly quaint. Why would they still be spending their time like this? Would they still be spending their time like this if they were immortal? The waiter unlocks an unassuming door at the end of the room and lets you inside. You two swiftly make your way through a labyrinth of sterile grey corridors, taking confusing twists and turns. Feels like you're travelling into a different world, crossing one invisible portal after another. Eventually, you reach your destination. Yeah, sorry, Leona. That happens occasionally with this one. I keep thinking it's almost a jump scare. Eventually, you reach your destination. Your guide motions you to enter a dark room with a lone source of pale light. Computer screen in the distance beckoning you to come closer. As you do, you hear the door shutting behind your back and a short chuckle echoing behind it. Is this the place? Nothing else to do but sit on a chair in front of the computer. The monitor displays a modern chat application. The cursor is blinking in the user nickname entry field in the middle of the screen, obviously expecting you to input your handle. After brief consideration, you type in something goofy. Maybe it's you found sensibilities going haywire, but this place has a barely noticeable sleazy aura. Might as well go along with it. You input pornos collector and push the enter button. After a few seconds, the chat window opens and messages start appearing on the screen in quick succession. Hostage execution. Oh, jeez. Hostage executioner. Just to be clear, I don't have a wank rag. Vault of Luna. Mal. First victim. Oh, for sure. Hostage. No, for real. Luna. Malzen. For Jerry, of course. Jesse. Not much longer. Bastardo. Yeah, Jerry's chat MVP. Hostage. I mean, I've admitted to far worse things than here. Bozo. God, I'm so horny. Executioner. Not sure why I need to lie about this one. Luna. Oh my god, literally, who cares? Turtle guy. You and me both, Bozo. Heart's filthy lesson. Wait, who is Porno's collector? Jesse. Porno's collector? Hopeful number 1. No idea. Thirst. New user wasn't here a second before. Hostage. What the hell? Was anyone informed? Hopeful. No announcement. Heart's filthy. I know I wasn't. Jerry? Luna. Jerry. Porno's collector? Identify yourself within 2 minutes to get banned. Chat goes silent. Everyone's seemingly waiting for you to say something before proceeding. This must be a close-knit group. Better say something before they kick you out. I'm a vampire. Looking for Hope. Is she here? Volga. Who the fuck are you? Hopeful. This is meant to be a safe channel. Jerry. Investigating what went wrong. Bozo. How did they even get in here? Jerry. Stay calm. Hopeful. Can you get a location, Jerry? Jerry. Long. Yeah, sure. Bastard. That's Jerry. Gonna DM it to anyone interested. That was Jerry. Bastardo. Oh boy, now you're in trouble, Pornos. Executioner. Yeah, you're gonna regret Luna, dumbass. The day you decided to spy on us. That's not gonna work. Calm down. Fuck off. The one guy brought me here. Doubtful. This is where I thought I could meet Hope. Yeah, I'm calling bullshit. Jerry, how things on your end? Got the info. Nice. You want to die, asshole? You will die. You will die. Die. Mowing at everyone sentencing Pornos collected to death. I'm literally on my way to kill you right now. Yeah, sorry to inform you that you're about to die. Rip, bitch. You getting your throat slit? Right here, right now. Split second after you read the message, you hear someone's arms tightening around your neck. A violent return to reality catches you off guard. A jolt of panic rushes through your brain, paralyzing you momentarily. You've come to the wrong chat room, motherfucker. A ridiculous whisper rings out next to your ear, and the grip under your head gets even tighter. You start struggling, but even with your newfound supernatural strength, having trouble breaking out. This isn't a normal human you're dealing with. Last words? Sophie sent me here. Langley. Hand holding your chin shifts its position slightly. Don't struggle, I will break your windpipe on my phone, which would end even worse for you. Sounds of a camera shutter and light flashing. Did they just take some selfies with you? Alright, that's enough fun. I'm letting you go. We can have a talk. Don't do anything stupid, Mr. Intruder. Pretty, please. Mysterious assailant looses their grip on you and gently pushes you away. You quickly turn to take a good look at them. Let me just finish this. Alright, chat. Share anyone start? Because I'm betting yes. It's a pale blonde woman in her 20s, giving you slightly judgmental looks while rapidly tapping away at her phone screen. First you notice her outrageous outfit, seemingly thrown together from random thrift store finds. You take note of her tattoos, a sprawling tapestry of odd patterns and designs covering every visible part of her body. First glance, it all seems aimless, but has a consistent sense of style upon closer inspection. Her eyes focus on you for a second. Give you a scare, huh? Sorry, that's what you get for entering a lady's haven without her permission. And she's back to her phone. With a relatively small build, it's hard to believe you had trouble overpowering her physically. Then again, nothing is what it seems when it comes to the undead, and even compared to the vampires you've met so far, she comes off as an eccentric, curious presence. She shoots you another glance, noticing you're still cautious of her. Calm yourself, man. I won't pull anything like this anymore. It's just, feels stupid for saying it out loud. A vibe check? Vibe check. Yeah, I've got a glimpse of your vibe on the internet and in a dangerous situation. I feel like I've got a pretty good idea about who you really are. I'm Hope, by the way. If you're here, you probably heard of me, so I went ahead and skipped the pleasantries. But come to think of it, I might have skipped too many of those. Yeah, she definitely fits the description you were given by Sophie. Oh yeah, credit where it's true. You're probably not a boring person online, going by your chosen handle. Believe it or not, among bloodsuckers, that's still rare as hell. Most of them look like clueless baby boomers when it comes to internet stuff. Anyway, don't worry about the chat. It's all a game to us. No hard feelings, okay? I'll introduce you properly later. On the monitor, the chatter continues normally. Your visit is like yesterday's news, no longer relevant to anything. But look, if we're gonna talk about you, you should have something to say too. What are you doing here? About time, she asked. Note yourself, she really loves the sound of her own voice. I'm looking for people to join my coterie? Coterie. Pin that, done that, not interested. Unless she takes a closer look at you. Her eyes go wide. Wait. Shit. Are you the new Langley plaything? Word seems to be getting around fast. Of course you are. It's obvious the second Langley got her hands on a new servant. She'd start building a network. Your omissions tell me. I could really come in handy when, but Langley, that's a risky game. This kind of ambition attracts too much attention. It's off, and then fucking Kara. She seems to be having a spirited argument with herself, only parts of it audible. Is it you, or do her facial expressions and body language change a bit between one sentence and the other? Before you make certain it's not just your eyes playing tricks on you, she focuses half her attention back on you. The other half, of course, is still obsessed with her smartphone. Listen, I'm not saying I'm not interested in cooperation, but before I make a decision, I need to make sure that you sort of understand me, I sort of understand you. And since I was planning to put on a show before you came here, I propose a little game. I Hope absentmindedly spins her phone in her hand, considering how to put her thoughts into words. Then she approaches a switch in the wall and flicks it. Yes, exactly, Leo. Neon lights flare up, illuminating the room. You look around. The room is certainly unique. Looks like a butcher's room, repurposed to be a living space. The modern computer in front of you starkly contrasts the ominous industrial walls. At the back, there's an overwrought bed covered in velvet with meat hooks hanging above it. On top of the bed sheets, you notice what seem to be pieces of elaborate S&M equipment. And a camera. Wait a minute. You want my help? Moderate my cam show. Cam show. Your eyebrows twitch involuntarily. This is definitely not the kind of request you expected to hear tonight. She notices your confusion. Take it or leave it, buddy. You just became a kindred, but you want to become my partner in crime? Show me you can handle yourself while watching my back in my everyday environment. She's serious. Show starts in 10 minutes. If you think yourself better than this, better walk out the door right now. I won't hold a grudge. I got better things to do. As to prove it, she looks at something displayed on her phone and cracks a brief grin. Another reply typed down with a superb speed. Tap, 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 tap. 9 minutes. It's now or never. Show moderator. Risk of violating the Masquerade. Hi? Content warnings? Oh yes. So, do you take the job? Why the hell not? And it's break time. Back soon, everybody. Remember to go stretch. Take care of your body. Do that sort of thing. We'll be back shortly. Oh, good guess, Luxie. I'm going to check on Baby K. Hey, go back. Yeah, I don't know. Like, I'll keep chatting for a second so you don't go, oh shit, and you get back to it. Oh my god, as fast as possible. But no, Jimbles is here. We're doing really well tonight. It's fine. He's just a loud baby K, and that means I want to give Emma stitches breaks when I'm on break. And that also means that, like, my usual go to the bathroom is truncated, so I needed to extend break time. It's fine. It's very reasonable. I know essentially everyone in stream is not annoyed at me, which is a great thing to remind myself given the predilections of my disorders. I certainly agree with people going to go get ice cream. It's an excellent use of your time. $100 of free hair dye? Jeez, good job, Hermit. And other people on the Discord server are probably like, Jimbles, what are you're chatting on Discord? Should you not be in stream? Well, let me tell you. You can type one-handed while holding a baby K. That's what I was doing. Anyway, let's go back to it, huh? Wow, Hermit, that's awesome. Why the hell not? Let's host this live, this cam show, huh? Mod. Hope brightens up and her smile looks surprisingly sincere. Excellent. I promise you might find this more interesting in more ways than one. Alright, give me a second. She spends a minute setting up the computer you used before, then urges you to sit down. Oh, I made another of the pinkish white Russians. Started to separate a little, and I think that's actually much more beautiful than before. Less brown. It's lovely. The explanation of the moderator's functionalities is simple. It boils down to ignoring anyone who doesn't disrupt the chat, banning anyone who does, and kicking anyone who's causing minor trouble. It's good. This is the second milky alcoholic drink for the night, and I think it's going to be the last. 5 minutes later, she's already online, sitting on her bed in a provocative pose. It is a sex show, isn't it? Her voice, previously hushed, rings out with full force. How are you doing tonight, hopefuls? You peek at the chat. Cult of Luna. We're not worthy, queen. Vulgar. Fucking A. Hopeful number 1. Angel T.O.T. Sexy bozo. Hell yeah, time to fuck. Ignore. He attempted to try out the kick and ban prompts as soon as possible, but obviously he won't punish someone for a little dirty talk. Thank you. Today's show is quite special. Please welcome our new moderator, Porno's Collector. Lamau. Oh, who? Sorry for sentencing you to death earlier. At least the community here seems to be a bit more welcoming this time. Looks like this place has an established hazing ritual. Or maybe they and Hope came up with one specifically for you. Who knows? You decide to stay silent. Eventually people stop riffing on you and focus entirely on the star of the show. Alright, let's start this one with a bang, shall we? It begins. Queen! Oh boy, she's gonna do it! So this is where the strip show starts. You raise your head, curious about what kind of performance she's going for. First, she opens her mouth and reveals her retractable fangs in front of the camera. Right off the bat, the online audience is treated to a sight of her wholly human set of teeth turning into a monster's maw. The image is both revolting and fascinating. She raises her left wrist for everyone to see, and then bites. The fangs immediately turn her arm into a horrifying, gory mess. It's unclear if she used them to slash or bite, but one thing is for sure, no ordinary human could cause such damage. If an ordinary human suffered such a wound, you'd expect a geyser of blood to appear, but it doesn't. Hope's technically a corpse, so it's impossible. She flashes a monstrous smile and starts smearing Vitae all over her hand to maximize the impact of the violent image. Then, she starts drinking it up. She makes it a point to make the sight as gruesome as possible, looking like a hyena feasting on a corpse. The contrast of her behavior with her look of an Instagram model is stunning. When she's done, she reveals her wrist to the camera for the last time. She starts making theatrical gestures with her right hand as the wound begins to mend. Shortly thereafter, the wound is gone. It's like a magician's trick. Her left hand looks like nothing bad ever happened to it. Here's an appetizer. First blood to kick off the show. While you're wondering what the hell is going on, Hope catches a glimpse of your bewildered face and turns into your direction. How's that for an opening? This isn't a sex show? Sex. Oh, were you counting on me getting naked in front of you or something? Oh, honey, we've only just met each other. If you expected a strip show, yeah, sorry to disappoint. This is more like a live stream digital art. The erotic subtext is there, of course. You pick the chat. They're going wild. She did that for free. Oh, I'd love to lick your wrist clean, my fallen angel. Haha, yes. Nothing more arousing than a beautiful woman teetering on the edge of oblivion. A rose petal dancing in the eye of a violent hurricane. But eroticism is not the key here. It's vampirism. It's a new frontier, a living art installation. In the early 90s, the Japanese artists kept producing these videotapes with beautiful women committing gory harakiri. These are an inspiration. She bears her fangs again in a devious grin. But I have no interest in auto-destruction or turning myself into a victim. This is a celebration of a body I love, not self-inflicted punishment. The audience came here to marvel at a beautiful vampire and her awe-inspiring powers. Mending wounds is just one of these powers. The people watching can pay to see more. Oh, don't worry. The only things the audience can see and hear are the things I allow them to. They can talk freely, just remember to moderate the chat, will you? High risk of violating the Masquerade. What a joke! She's blatantly breaching it in front of anonymous viewers. Still speechless, you turn your attention to the screen. Me guapa. Alright, I'm feeling generous today. Have you planned your next tattoo yet? I'll pay for the next attraction. Looking like a pink marshmallow covered in raspberry sauce. First victim, just letting you know you're based. I know. Oh my gosh, I'm a girl jerk, I'm a zero. Nothing yet. You let the guy vent his excitement. Seems harmless. Special message appears in the chat log, claiming somebody has successfully sponsored the first goal of the show. Hope smiles and picks up a bag of blood from underneath the bed. It must have been retrieved from a blood bank. She showcases the label to the camera for everyone to see. Drink up, drink up, drink up, drink up, drink up. Hope pours all of the contents of the bag into her throat. You have no doubt it's real blood. But wonder why the viewers would be so satisfied with something that's so easy to fake. Don't worry, it pays well enough. You don't even bother to tell her this is not what you're thinking about. Safe to assume she knows. So what do you know about the kindred and the internet? Have they told you anything? While she's waiting for someone to sponsor her next vampiric feat, she decides to start a conversation. Is there a vampire internet? You find something that looks like a vampire internet? Stay away. See, some of us used to experiment with our own secure networks. We tried to build our own informational hubs, social networks, everything. She's still working the phone in one hand while looking for something under the bed with the other. On how many things could she concentrate on one time, exactly? Then one day the NSA got in. Turns out elders never really got the hang of proper security practices, or the sigils they used to smear on their screens didn't exactly work as advertised. And of course, all the other three-lettered intelligence agencies got the intel. A lot of them decided bloodsuckers were the perfect new enemies for our post-9/11 times. The Second Inquisition came into being. Ever heard of it? A lot of our kind died just because they were too present online. Right now, the remains of our old network serve as government honeypots kept alive to attract fledglings and hunt them down. Post a certain keyword on Twitter and Facebook, and you get tagged for investigation. You fit certain patterns. You get tagged for investigation. So there's a certain thrill in becoming an online presence without attracting attention from the authorities. She stretches on the bed. I hope you are still monitoring the chat. Of course not. You're not as good as dividing your attention as she is. You correct your mistake and check her recent messages. Aw, is she talking to somebody? Can't wait for the real thing to start. There's two monitors set up, rules, Call of Duty on one screen, drop dead hotness on the second screen. The only woman I don't hate. Hope has crabs and gonorrhea. Hope more like my favorite hoe. Bam. It's got a nickname only suggests trouble. and get rid of them permanently. Good job. Just keeping close tabs on you. Anyway, yeah. The Nosferatu admitted to the Camarilla that their network got compromised, the elders were batshit insane. Internet communications became strictly forbidden. There were executions. A lot of people use social media to secretly contract their mortal families, and lovers got offed. That goes without saying. If you weren't careful, even the most innocent web usage could bring about being punished with final death. Thanks to user Dick Steele, the next goal was just gotten successfully funded. Let's go! Vanishing act. Dehumanize yourself. Face the bloodshed. She raises her hand. 3 fingers up. 2 fingers up. 1 finger up. The countdown ends and she immediately disappears from the screen like a ghost. You can still see her on the bed, but the live feed indicates there's nobody there. You're deeply focused on the digital image. You swear you can make out some unusual glitching where her silhouette should be, but it could very well just be placebo. You ready for this? 3, 2, 1. Flash of the camera. Instant she reappears on the screen. She takes a selfie, sticking her tongue out in a provocative manner. Chat room explodes in cheers again. She's their vampire queen. You briefly wonder about her being glued to her screen. Is this the fantasy everyone is here for? A girl showing off cheap magic tricks while lazily browsing from social media? You realize you're way out of your depth here. Meanwhile, Hope decides to continue her lecture. Those were some wild times, especially in New York. While most of them have no clue as to her real nature, a lot of clandestine organizations have classified us as national threats. And since this is where the towers fell, the agencies are very much present around here looking for easy PR victories. The last SI raid here was just a few years ago, and it was a big one. Stirred up the hornet's nest, something fierce. But although it's 2019, NYC is ruled by someone who got embraced before World War fucking II, and the cam as a whole, we got really spooked and swore off the internet. Of course, they're not dumb and understand you can't really coexist with modern kind without the internet. It's a grey zone right now, like piracy, technically frowned upon. Let the one without sin cast the first stone. SI is a real threat. No joke. But in many senses, the darkest place is right under the candle. Take another look at the candle, at the screen. We want blood. How about some bat stuff? Can you use bat stuff? Can you show us next time? It's been a long, hard day. Please give me a shout out. Familiar nickname pops up. Massacre Sama. Is he hitting his keyboard with his head or something? Alright, they're gone. Well, that was overzealous. Please don't terrorize my viewers, will you? Chat is ridiculing you again. That wasn't their best choice. Let's hope you can bounce back from that. Oh yeah, fun fact about being a vampire. We can sweat and pee if we just exert ourselves really hard. Some of us can even orgasm. We can even cry, but only tears of blood. Something I always dreamed of doing when I was 14. So romantic. It drives them crazy. It's proof of her words, a scarlet tear starts running down her face. The chat goes wild. This seems to be exactly the kind of thing that they've been waiting for. Yeah, kicked would have been better. Guess I'm not the one doing the moderating. I'm the one doing the streaming, the entertaining. What was it? Personal note? Fuck, I wish I had time to shave. So patchy on my face. Ah! An angel that fell down from heaven. She did it again. Beatific. Sorry, beatific. Hope your tortured soul finds some calm eventually. Can you imagine USA assembling a blood-sucking squad that could just cruise by the border and suck blood out of any illegal they found? The very thought gives me the biggest boner. I want to ban them. Fuck it. And banned. Just to be clear, you realize what you're doing here is a blatant breach of the Masquerade, right? I honestly expected you to leave or inform somebody by now, but you haven't, have you? Try to focus on the chat. In any case, last goal has just been funded. It's time for the great finale. This is what you've all been waiting for, right? Sorry. Jimbles fucking... well, I don't know. someone getting off on the idea of harming people just trying to find a better place in the world? Oh, no, 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 no. Yeah, it seems like she wasn't mad about it. Thankfully, I think it's because that was like the last segment. It's time for the grand finale. The great finale. This is what you've all been waiting for, right? Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Her voice has changed. She gets close to the camera, letting her face fill the frame of the live feed. Her mesmerizing eyes are focused purely on the viewers. You wanted blood. Come out into the streets, claw out your neighbors' throats, slash their veins, and drink up. Yes, Queen. Yes, Queen. Hope's presence becomes absolutely horrifying, and it influences the chat in some incomprehensible way. Everyone stops typing like they are possessed. Liberate yourselves from the shackles of ordinary morality. Make them scream. Feel the warmth of their entrails. And everyone's key smashing. What the hell is she doing to these people? What have you gotten yourself into? Transcend your bodies. Release the message of hope into the world. She jerks violently for a second and falls down on the bed like a marionette has just had its strings severed. She exhales loudly a few times and laughs. When she does, the room goes dark again. Alright, that's enough. Instead of continuing, she does something with her phone. The stream ends, and chat instantly becomes dead quiet. Let me take over. The atmosphere in the room is completely changed. She's already put herself together and stood up. Now she's walking towards you. Good call, Violets. Hey, Violets, this seems, honestly, Hope, this live stream, and definitely Coteries, seems like an excellent way to drag you into a vampire game. I'll get you. Clearly they wanted to do the key smashing, right? What the fuck just happened? Guess the show is over. Everyone relax and go home. Oh, I was almost ready to come, bros. Also, just so my father's grave, one day I will find you and kick the ever-loving shit out of you. After every line she delivers, she changes her voice, the way she puts her lips together, and even the way she moves. You caught glimpses of her acting this way, but only now have you started to figure it out. Wait a minute, does this mean I'm immortal, I'm bored, I'm separated from most vampires in the city by a generational chasm, and I'm so goddamn lonely? The internet used to be my only friend. Years ago, I started researching tulpas, collective unconsciousness, and all the mumbo-jumbo at the intersection of psychology and spirituality, and I decided to experiment. The show was fake. A few years later, I was on an Instagram fashionista and a successful erotic model, and a vital part of pop culture commentariat, a viral shitposter, a cryptocurrency expert. All of my internet selves started signal boosting each other, paving the way for new ones. I became a one-woman empire, surrounded by legions of psychopaths. The chat was fake. Some may think of it as dissociative identity disorder, but that's bullshit. Everyone has online alter egos they buried, which has resurrected them, gave birth to new ones, and let them crossbreed. Constant tapping at her phone, even during the show. Somehow she's capable of impersonating an entire chat room. I don't even have a self that could dissociate or be mentally ill. I'm a host, a living database. I live because I find it fun to be an information conduit, to process trends and support the ones I deem worthy. Exactly, Luxie. Info dump delivery services. There was no Masquerade violation. She was showing off her skills all along. She put you into a world of pure fiction, the same way she was testing you when she attacked you from the back. Damn, she's good at this. Of course, you can't ignore. You can just ignore what I'm saying to some just another deranged Malkavian. But hey, annihilation of the self is the only way to survive in the 21st century. If there was ever an era that demanded images of beautiful people transcending beyond humanity, inspiring others to do the same, it's this one. Though for now, because of the Masquerade, my audience is quite limited. Speaking of, you want to be the star of my next movie? Sure, why not? I have a hunch here you're just saying that. But hey, in a way, this too is transcending beyond self. But yeah, the twist is over. So now the question is, do I want to work with you? She puts away her phone for the first time since you've met her and gives you a good hard look. Yeah, I guess I can give it a shot. Yeah, you're not that dumb, you're not that boring, you're kind of cute. Don't worry, no more modding jobs. Mods get attached, and that's always bad news. She grabs your arm and starts leading you out of her room. Put you through enough shit. Next time, I'll let you in on a little job I'm doing. We'll hit the streets and I'll see why Sophie told you to contact me. She leads you through a labyrinth of grey corridors. It's a different route than the one you made your way through in. Unconscious diagram of psychic event. That's so cool. The city is so much more than what elites consider real. Stick with me and I'll guide you places the camera elders couldn't reach in 100 years. She leads you out the building, into the back alley. Even if someone else rules the streets, we will rule the information highways. That is the power of hope. She lets out a theatrical laugh and disappears. You don't even notice when she leaves you alone, but you assume everything went as well as it could. And you ally. Power of hope. You walk off into the night, everything around you feels a little less tangible than it did a few hours ago. The hunger calls you. Man, we didn't even feed during that whole scene. You find yourself among tall buildings. Oh wow, this is the same as before. I know, we're trying to feed. I've literally got no other options. Rest. Oh boy. Piece of paper is sticking out of your mailbox. It's a computer printout, a note and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there. No signature. Places marked on the map is a look-at point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mia passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. We need to feed. You go downstairs as soon as you wake up. One more glance at the phone, but no news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn Park. You take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street, and you approach the meeting spot cautiously. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out towards Manhattan. Mailbox. I believe in these nights we call that a pussy. As you approach, you can hear her muttering something. It is true, but I do not think it is true. If I do not think it is true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then... Hey, I'm meeting somebody here tonight. I don't suppose that would be you. The woman turns around. It's not Mia. Whoever it is, you have never seen it before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable. Why, yes, it's me. We are meeting now. You are meeting me. I'm meeting you. Such a joyous occasion. You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead. So, you got the message. I did. Well, now? Now you'll come with us. The boss wants to meet you. Callahan? That's Boss Callahan to you, fuckface. I suggest you get a move on. Got places to be. The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness, the litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles. Or we can do it the hard way. Coming here was a mistake. It's time to blow this joint. Your muscles tense in preparation for a sprint that will take you away from this place, back inside your car. A shriek fills your head. It's the woman. She's ridiculing you, provoking you to stay and fight, to show them you're not to be ordered around. You try to overcome you, but you fight back. You break one guy's nose and dislocate another's kneecap. Yeah, who's big and scary now, you fuckers? Stake slams into your chest. The man who talked to you appears before your face, smiling a crooked smile. Do I always have to do everything myself? Let him onto the boat, you useless cocksuckers. Oh no, not snapped over a knee. Big wheels. Story of Eric is making bad decisions repeatedly. Do you remember how we met Kidia? You're barely conscious. It's impossible to tell where they're taking you or how long it will take. A sucking sound and a clear sensation of having a cavity in your chest that wasn't there before. Maybe it's because I'm like 2 standard drinks in, but do miss sucking some cock. Don't worry, we'll get there. Just gotta plan it out, right? Oh well. Having a cavity in your chest that wasn't there before. Oh, Leona. Honestly, sometimes it's good to just like bend over a bench or something so you have some support for your upper body while the legs go limp. Deep voice breaking through the oblivion you returning from. Vincent, my boy, you truly are a nuisance sometimes, but you do get the job done. That's why I respect you. Thank you, boss. Sight comes back to you, going over a deep voice. Is it curious, like dressed in what only can be a Victorian clothing with a monocle and graying red hair? Is this Callahan? There we go, coming to, are we? Heard you're a spirited one, eh? Vincent, is this fledgling spirited, would you say? Yeah, boss. Alright, we know what we're doing for Vincent then. Vince then. Vinny, my boy. Oh, yeah, boss. Sure, spirited. I believe you already know who I am. I have, Violet. It's excellent. You're not wrong. You're a smart lady. Your boss, Callahan. Right you are. And I guess you know my role in the city. I represent the Anarch movement. While I'm not quite sure what you represent. I've invited you here to find out. Now let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed and truly disappointed. But I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First, I'd like to make sure you understand what your infraction was. So, do you know why you're here? I can't help but feel like you're dying to tell me. Don't get smart with me. Takes your face in his hand while Vince holds you in a tight grip. He squeezes hard and looks you deep in the eyes. Talk is the reason you're here. Well, that angry little strumpet of his, I'm told. Yeah. Mia? Oh, I'd love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and bring it to the bricks. But you see, I'm a statesman. It's not a prudent thing to do. No, indeed. The prudent thing to do is to tolerate both her and that blasted ebony-skinned mentor of hers. Look at what the world has become these nights. Here I am, lambasting a black man and a woman in front of a whelp of Asian descent. My papa, rest his soul, would not believe it. We don't have enough blood to use presents. Finished with your disgusting rant? Oh, Fletcher, you have no idea who you're messing with. He looks at you with rage in his eyes. You feel insignificant and vulnerable. An irrational fear takes over you. You cannot speak up against this man again. You just can't. He's too terrifying. Now that I have your full attention, I will request something from you, and you will obey me to the letter. But that comes later. First, you will answer a few questions. The first of which is, who pointed you to me? Nobody. It was my idea. Oh, really? And what was your intention behind the meeting? I wanted to contact Talk. I had to go through Mia. Oh, yes, the so-called veteran loves to use petite girls to hide behind, I heard. Now, but check out. What did you end up discussing? I just wanted to learn about the Anarch, so I asked her about the movement. Oh, child, you should have come to me then. I'm the Anarch movement in New York City, and nobody makes a secret out of it. You bet on the wrong horse, as I'm sure you'll soon learn. See, that wasn't so hard now, was it? Of course, I can't be sure how much of what you told me was true, and how much of it was worth about as much as yesternight's horse shit. But I'll find out. I always do. When I do, we'll have another of these ice talks. But maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time. Gives Vince a sign, the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vince's boot. Your shoulder dislocated, your nose wrecked. He gives Vince a sign, and Vince says, "On it, boss." That's enough, Vincent. Leave them be. He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times and checks if you can focus on his face. You can, but barely. I'm a man of principle. Nothing I do would perhaps put you in a casket, dip it in concrete, and dump it in the Hudson. A favorite of mine during the roaring 20s. Oh, it's been a while. 100 years, old man. Well, like I mentioned before, I'm nothing but prudent, and so the interests of the city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You are forbidden to meet Talk. I will keep an eye on him. I will keep an eye on you, on him. If you want to place with the Anarchs, you go through me and only me. Got it? You have to understand what I made my associates do to you tonight was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent.
Take the boat back, leave the fledgling here. I think I have a lot to think about. Sure thing, boss. Pleasure making your acquaintance.
Callahan walks away. As do Vince and his band of thugs. You lie on the ground for a while longer, feeling the blood slowly putting your body back together, your hunger growing. You can hear the beast calling for sustenance, for safety, for revenge. A distant but pronounced third desire. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear more as a mugging victim than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a passing taxi passing and head back to your haven. You give the driver your address and pass out. The darkness greets you. Some time passes, you think. You feel somebody shaking you. You open your eyes. It's the driver. You think he's asking if you're alright. His words change to a muffled shout. He goes silent. You think he tastes great. As great as a tired, caffeine-pumped taxi driver with high cholesterol can taste. Warm blood pours down your throat and flows to your limbs, mending them. Taking from him and adding to you. Feeling the weight of his years pass into your body and ease the timeless angst your dead bones feel. The hunger dims. It's growing cold, but you still do not have control. You are still observing, not acting. Your body is not yours. The beast is in charge. Let the beast have its fill. Another night, you might have resisted. Tonight, you were too tired, too frustrated, too weak. The beast keeps drinking. You keep watching it drink with your fangs. And you do not say no. The cabbie goes limp. You're sated for now, the beast thinks. It takes a small bow and wipes its lips. After you, it mouths, mockingly. You break away from the man. He's pale. His pulse is almost gone. You quickly lick the wound closed, pick up his phone, call an ambulance. Get the fuck away from the car, back to your haven. The ambulance's lights keep dancing in the windows for some minutes after you close the door. You want to know if you killed that man, but you can't ask. It's too risky. It would raise too many questions. You're still not quite mended. You need to rest. You lost 2 battles tonight. One that will see a rematch, that much is certain. Callahan is not the kind of man who quits. The other was a battle you decided to forfeit in a war you can't afford to lose. When your very humanity is at stake, you need to do better. That's good writing. That's real good vampire writing. I like that. I like that a lot. Now, Lexi, I know you're complaining. You're saying, Jim, no, stop making the bad decisions. It's fine. I'm making the bad decisions for you. You're not responsible for them, right? You're going to finish the game. Sure. Same way you can say that you've successfully finished Final Fantasies 1 through 9, though you don't remember much for reason. But with a little distance, with a camera in front of the screen, with somebody else's hands pressing buttons, you get to indulge in a little bit more dastardliness, a little bit more darkness, and really taste the blood on your lips while saying, this wasn't me, this was the beast, Jimble. Oh, Loxy, that's actually really good. That's an excellent one. Okay. Waking up tonight feels different for 2 reasons. For one, you were presently surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. Comes with a caveat though, the hunger you feel is pronounced. The beast like a black dog on the edge of your vision following you. What is truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone. An unknown number is calling the phone you got from Mia. Loxy, I'm afraid it's been 6 months minimum since I listened to the Hamilton soundtrack. I have not turned against it. The popular musical that everyone enjoyed. So immediately, everyone who likes musicals must decide they hated it all along because it became popular. It's fine. We all love Hadestown now. But don't worry, as soon as that gets a larger release, we will hate everyone involved in that as well. Yeah. Well, look, if I'm happy to ape a bit of Lin-Manuel Miranda's style, I'd rather it be one of the best songs of the entire show. What do we dislike him for? He's kind of goofy. Is that it? We just don't like... he's not sufficiently leftist enough? Yeah, lots of people aren't. It happens when you get rich. Oh no, I believe you. Absolutely. You skip it? Loxy. Sin. Wow. Leah, what? You say you just like wait for it. I'm banning you from the chat for 2 minutes. While you go listen to the song and think about what you've done. Violence. You pick up. Kept that old thing charged, huh? After all? You alright? No, actually, I feel like shit. Look, that's too bad, but I don't really care. I was just being polite. I'm calling with good news. Talker's agreed to meet you. There's a pub in the Bronx. Solids and stripes. Be there tonight. 2 things. No drinking on the premises, so if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot in borough. And this is an exclusively no powers meeting. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening. And also we don't trust you, so keep casual or you'll blow it. Anything you'd like to add? Yeah, I met Callahan yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbid me from being talk. I'm not sure I should be there tonight. Silence on the line. Fuck. More silence. Can't promise you any protection on your way there or back, but at the pub you'll be in Talk's domain. For all his posturing, Callahan doesn't have the balls to strike Talk directly. I'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best I can do. If Callahan got on his skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. All I've got to say is, the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I won't blame you. It's a one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. Just don't do anything stupid. Meet with us tonight. Better be in good faith. She ends the call. First things first, you take the subway to York Street Station, walk to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. Eating opportunity? Like, we need to eat. We're hungry. We've been doing this for a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kind of predator you are and what kinds of blood you crave. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems and in this cloak and dagger debacle that you're now a part of that the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight. A fragment of you surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them and drink from them, you've forgotten their face. You find that you've forgotten their face and how they were dressed. And it hits you once you look at yourself in your car's rearview mirror. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody, a human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity and not let yourself slide down this spiral. Instead of clearing your mind, this cluttered it further, and you were still no closer to a decision. You do intend to visit Talk tonight, but you decide to drive around a bit first. Something tells you there might be somebody tailing you. It sounds sensible to try and lose them. You spend a good 2 hours looking in your rearview mirror and driving all over the city before finally driving to the Bronx. You take some basic precautions as you enter Talk's turf. You park a few streets over from where the pub is and walk towards it while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. Kindred. Like Kindred, for the most part, look no different from regular people. Make things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a final glance around, and there's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see, and open the door. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it, a constant fog hanging right under the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to disperse it. The constant crack of billiard balls and clinking of glasses tells you all you need to know about the clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. I'm wondering if you got the address right. Apparently did. Mia's here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around. Took a sweet time to get here. What, got cold feet? Never mind. No one follow you? Not that I know of. Fair enough. Before I introduce you to some outstanding business to discuss, I appreciate the help of getting that name out of Bruce. It's going to be a tough nut to crack. His master, she's one of the lawmen. Times where they'd sooner align with us than the cam. Anyway, this isn't the night for a history lesson. Talk's been waiting for you. He's been impressed by your work so far. Here's your chance to shine. Don't blow it. You walk towards one of the tables. A guy in a coat and hat leans over to take a shot. He's way ahead of his opponent. The table's clear of his balls, save for the 8-ball in a tricky position. Hey, they're here. Be with you in just a moment. He hit is fast, precise, and sends the black ball exactly where its player wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh. That's that. I believe that's $150 American, Joey. You want to pay up now, or up the stakes again? The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, and declares he's going to grab another beer. To the victor goes the spoils. Thank you kindly. He turns his full attention to you. The man is good looking, if somewhat gaunt in intent. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through to your core, but not in an unpleasant way. Names talk. I believe you're Eric, Sophie Langley's new plaything. Is that right? You anarchs too? How does everybody always know that? Word travels fast when you care to listen, fledgling. We wouldn't be talking tonight if I hadn't learned that a long time ago. Forgive my being real with you right off the bat, but I like to know who it is I'm dealing with. So here's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're with Langley, and Langley's cam through and through, I'm told, what is it you've come here to accomplish tonight? Sophie Langley wants to meet with you. Don't ask why, she didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callahan. I'm here to arrange that meeting. The fuck? I knew nothing about this tea. They lied to me. Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two. It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well. Ain't that an interesting proposition? You can't seriously be thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hardline cam. It's a trap. It must be. Might just be. It just might. He looks at you, pierces you with his unnaturally keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens at the back of the room. Hey, Doc, got a guest. They in the back. Mia, won't you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is. Sure thing. Doc tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Mia glowers at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she has half a mind to chuck it at your face. You've got to be quite happy with yourself, bluffing your way in here. I wish I did this differently, but it is what it is. I'm not proud of myself. You shouldn't be. You made me look like a chump in front of Talk. Hero is beginning to think you might make a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now. Talk appears from the door at the back and calls across the room. Yo, Mia, can I grab you for a second? Eric, get over here too. And go to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there are 5 other people in there with you. Talk ushers you in and closes the door behind you and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding somebody down. A familiar voice reaches your ears. Motherfuckers, you will pay for this, you hear me? The boss is gonna fuck you up bad. So bad, you have no idea. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Cerruti before, Eric? I have a score to settle with this fucker. You're fucked. You're so fucked you don't even know it. Stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have listened. That's a story and a half, ain't it, Vince? Cerruti? Yeah, that makes sense. That's a story and a half, ain't it? Vince, calm down now and tell me about how many guys are still out there on my turf, Go fuck yourself. You're done. The boss will know his stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows they were Langley. You know what that means, Talk. No, I don't. What does it mean, Vince? Now the boss can wipe you out. He'll say you're sucking Langley's tits and all these buddies of yours? Gone. You're done, Talk. Well, now, if that's the case,
guess written NYC of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, there's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Eric? You want to repay the favor? Gladly. Go right ahead. Hurt Vince a lot. You hit Vince once, twice. He's chuckling in the beginning, but you focus your blood for some extra oomph. And keep hitting him again, more, until he stops laughing. He's bruised, battered, and broken. The two Anarch dudes let go of him, and you kick him some more while he's on the floor. You only stop when you hear Talk's voice. Enough's enough, Eric. Takes an old pool cue and breaks it over his knee. Stake him and take him downstairs. Let's keep Callahan guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy. It hasn't come up here yet. And these fuckers are not Sabat, right? But I want to diablerize this fuck so hard. Mia takes a sharpened piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features go slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even let out a yelp. The other two Anarchs take him out of the room. As entertaining as that was, I think Vince, in his unmatched wisdom, shared more than Callahan would have hoped for. This changes things. A ghoul? What you mean? Ever heard about Operation Lights Out, Eric? It's a second Inquisition here in NYC. A single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before or since. Arbor Tower got away with just a few losses here and there. No major players were hit. I want you to stay find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Oh! Leona, that's a good point. Maybe he is, right? I can't fucking drain him dry if he's just a ghoul. Us, though, we got hit hard all over town. Havens were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out in one piece. Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off, gently, but surely. Others, like my child, Barb, or Mia's sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Callahan. I've thought about it the past few years. How is it Big B managed to excuse himself from the Staten Island Museum where we used to meet just before vans of guys in body armor showed up? How is it that my baby is burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds? I also see Doug Callahan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the SI. We think the bastard knew what was coming, and he set us up. Not just us, some of our brothers and sisters who got hit and had the lowest profiles in the city's lick population. The moral of the story, Callahan is an opportunistic motherfucker, and even if his thickest followers suggest he's going to sell me out, then that's what he's going to do. As sure as the sun rises. He pauses for a moment, and you see him reach a decision. You said something about Langley having enough offer for me. Might be your fault in part that I'm at this juncture, but now's as good a time as any is to listen to what she has to say. And I think that's wise, T. Well, what would you have me do then? He said it himself, it's all his fledgling's fault. They brought this on us. So let's use them as a bargaining chip. Callahan wants them, Langley needs them, they're valuable. Guys, I'm sorry it turned out this way. I really am. I'm just a messenger in all this. Don't throw me under the bus. This is not going to go well. That's just it. CT, they're just a messenger. What if this whole thing was planned? What if Langley is looking to score some brownie points with the prince and this is all a setup? If that's the case, then we're beyond the point of no return anyway. So what if Callahan wants his fledgling? He wants us out of the picture. We'll find a reason, if not tonight, then soon. Mia, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will. Count on it. He smiles and takes on a no bullshit look and points at you. 3 conditions. First, you come pick me up personally and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me. No two ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting. The 2 of you, the 2 of us. Nobody else. And the third, the meeting is in public. Downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. We see you take us anywhere fishy. We check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on her not coming to that, though. You seem likable enough.
The cam hasn't gotten its talons in you yet. Keep it up, and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did, in your own time. I'll make sure to repeat your conditions to Sophie. You do that. Best boy on your way. Ask me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him to put the owner on the line. Mia walks you to the door and accompanies you to your car. Listen, about what I said before? Yeah, what about it? I panicked. That's all it was. It was unfair what I said. If anything, it's my fault. I'm angry with myself, and that makes me angry with you. Cleric Luxie, are we adding a Watch of Hamilton to the potential Professor Jimbles class in-person hangout? Maybe we watch it on stream via Discord. Maybe to join that, you'll have to type !class into chat and join our cool little community. I forget. Oh, that sounds good. We can drink ale and mead. Oh, chat's going wild. I like that. Only Emma Stitches was watching so she could be as excited as I am. That was pretty good. I forget it. See ya. She starts walking back to the bar as you start the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Marshmallow Urge. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you as openly as ever, clearly excited to see you and for what news you might bring. Good evening, Eric. How is your task going? You have something for me, perhaps? I did what you asked. The meeting is set up. Excellent. Experienced any problems? Oh, that's good, Cleric. I didn't know that. Lynn's Drunk History? What is that about? I'll obtain it. During my meeting with Talk, the same guy who beat me up yesterday, Vince, showed up. He's Callahan's goon. We have to assume that he knows I met Talk. Well, that just means we'll have to bring the plan to a close. And it's thanks to your good timing. We're about a day away from that. Well, let's hear it. What did Talk agree to? He relayed the Anarch leader's conditions. You want to pick him and Mia up. The meeting should only include the four of you and should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, though I do worry about our Mia character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy? I met some Anarchs over the past few nights, and she was one of the more agreeable ones. She's fine, I guess. I see. Very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in Hudson Yards. The vessel. Plenty of tourists visit that place, but if we go there after midnight, she seems to have made up her mind. Yeah. Bring them there tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level. What's so important that you can't just send them a letter or something? We'll be there to find out. Pick them up at midnight and drive back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes. Within reason. I'm counting on you, Eric. The final puzzle piece is about to find its way to destination. After that, we'll get our just reward. You, me, Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could kiss you. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. She must have caught it in your expression. She smiles. Figure of speech, darling. Or at least it is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I'm growing fond of you. And success whets my appetite for these kind of things. Sexual tension in the room becomes unbearable until it suddenly disappears. Was this another one of Sophie's tricks, or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? You certainly felt the blood flow through you for a short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think it could do that anymore. Did you just imagine it? Use the rest of the night well, Eric, and rest. We are but a day's sleep away from shaking this city awake. My friends, I'm afraid we have to stop here because it is 10 o'clock and that is our finishing time. Why, it has been a lot of fun playing Vampire Coteries of New York with you, flirting, enjoying our community, hanging out with each other, and enjoying the fact that while the week has just started, we have plenty more good things to experience in this world. I know Hermit, and Luxie. She did just tell you to go wank. The vampires come blood? I disagree with the Twilight as in they come venom, but still. Ask Hope. Like, love to find out, that's for sure. In any case, let's fuck around, chat a little bit longer, and then have an excellent evening. Otherwise, my friends, it has been a highly enjoyable evening. I'm going to go continue being a parent, and I will see you again Wednesday night for some more Final Fantasy X, for likely not the last episode, but maybe the second last episode. Now, to say that you've completed one of the best role-playing games in history, you'll have to join in and watch along. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. Tell friends about the cool person you're watching. Stream twice a week, if not more often. Hang out on our Discord server. Post your victories, your beautiful things you're cooking, and any horny images you might find. Otherwise, the most important thing I can ask you to do is please tell the people you love that you love them very much. Good night, everyone.